5, and it's the 18th of June, and we're in the middle of the year, just the middle of the year. My face is rather shiny. It's hot out here, as it is 110 degrees. 110. 110 degrees. And so let's just have this conversation, shall we? Because most people don't understand here in Nevada, as this is a right to work state, meaning that they have a right to fire you. And really, that's really what it is all about, because termination is real. And when people are being fired, for what? Looks like I've got some dark circles under my eyes. I don't know. But that darkness, let me make sure. I don't know. I think it is just whatever. Because here we are, living in America. And what does America actually offer you? What is the value of that letter grade of F? Somebody please just share what you think the value of the letter grade of F is, because fraud is unfathomable. I mean, fraudulent activities in America is reality. Lemonade is so good on a hot day. And here we are, just living in America, not understanding that citizenship requires what? Participation. And if you ain't never participated, boo, I don't know what to tell you. Because you would think that you wouldn't get in your little box and pretend that you got this shit together when you look around and we're not able to comment or critique what is not happening in our community as African Americans. The reality is just a painful reality, as you must wake up and awaken and understand that it is we, the people, that have an obligation to ourselves. And then what happened? Well, hell if I know. It was 1964 when the, Civil Rights Act happened, and then, they signed Brown versus the Board of Education, and it was a civil rights issue. And we were all participating in this mandatory thing they call public education. But then the letter grades of F start rolling down the hill, and people start being promoted out under social and emotional learning. And I said, well, what the hell is social? I don't know what that is. Because if you can't read and you can't comprehend the King's English, hello, then it's unfortunate that we're just what? I said, hello, context. It is real. Because guess what? It is we the people. And it is our responsibility that this shit kind of works. And this shit is not working. It's not working for me, especially these little damn devices that we're using to stay abreast upon. We want to know what's going on. Everybody wants to know what's going on. Yeah, it's 110 degrees out here. Here in Nevada, it's just 110 degrees. And that's just real. And we have heat. And we're in the desert, and that's what you should expect in the desert. You move to the desert, expect the heat. That's right, it's hot. It's hot as hell. But then when you understand that irregardless of how much money you make and what you're doing and what you've been given privilege to, the deal is that we all still have this basic obligation to show up. Show up is real. And so here we are, living in America. Rico Lamont. It's real, it's hot. And at least I'm not too old to sweat, that's real. And quite frankly, this is disgusting what I'm witnessing every day. As it was a joke. My gas company was charging me, oh goodness, every month. And I don't have any gas appliances. And I was trying to figure out, well, why am I paying $40 for no gas appliances? I mean, no gas dryer, no gas dishwasher, no gas. No gas stove, no gas. And then what happened? I called and she came out here and they sent somebody to check it out. Why was I, spending so much money in gas? And then what happened? She told me I could, I got it running. She told me that I could dispute the bill. And I did, disputed the bill. The next month, I got a shut-off notice. So I told her to come out here and turn it off. Because guess what? We don't use any gas in the summertime because we don't have any gas appliances. And she said it costs $25 for the reconnection. So instead of paying $40 a month, I'm going to be paying $25 in November. And fuck it. It's serious. People are just so entitled to stealing. And what do you have to say? You can't say shit. So the deal is to get over when you can. Do what you can do. Make it happen. Exactly what I plan on doing is making it happen. But this Parent Empowerment Half an Hour is over on Spotify. That's what I call my podcast. Because I realize that so many people, they don't even have parents anymore. And family values, what the hell is that? Because people don't even respect their family. And it's got nothing to do with family anymore, boo. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And that's just real. We all have an obligation to ourselves. And what does that look like? It doesn't look like the letter grade of F. So why in the hell so many children in the 11th grade that are not reading at the 3rd grade level? There's got to be a consequence or something for people. I mean, or they just need to change the system and bring back automotive repair or bring back culinary or bring back something that gives somebody a damn skill so that they can work. Because otherwise robots are coming to take over and they don't need your help. Mechanical, look at McDonald's. You walk in there, they don't need no employees. They're refurbishing so they don't have to have no workers. We all watched what happened at Walmart, right? And so Walmart, self-checkout, that's right. You check yourself out. And then they're going to be watching you because if you choose to steal, they got something for your ass too. Yep, that's right. But in America, as we are all Americans, life is all about what it is that you're willing to do to survive. And quite frankly, survival is key. Welcome to my channel, my talk, my whatever. As life and liberty is justice for who? People who look like me. You see my $3.99 necklace is gold-plated, but for $3.99, it's beautiful. Yep, on the Goodwill Dollar Day. But it really doesn't matter. You just get a little percentage off. And if you're a senior citizen. Same thing with the marijuana here. It's a percentage off. If you're a senior, you get a wisdom discount. Hello, hit me up for the wisdom discount. It's real. But I've been living here in Nevada. I want to say for about almost 5 years. And when I moved here, I was trying to understand what was going on with public education because I really didn't understand how to figure it out. But I watched the board meetings and I watched them legislate from the bench as legislators are implementing punitive options on people who are required to participate. But if you're required to participate, then there should be a level of benefit. And I'm saying, well, what is the benefit of the letter grade of F? Because social promotion, people do have skills. These kids are learning how to do nails and hair in the community. It's not, in the community, they're learning how to do that. So those are survival skills. You got to be good at something that you do. And then put the work in. Because, most of the work comes in from putting the actual work in. Time and effort allowed me to understand how to stream out here on YouTube. And you had to get to a place. Y'all don't understand, but if you pay that $157 or $160 over there on Zoom, you get the stream right here on YouTube for free. Not really free, because you paid that $157. It's an annual cost. But when they thought that they was entitled to just take my money, they said, oh no, you don't look, I'm getting all these extra wrinkles just living here in Nevada. Very stressful. Criminal behavior. So I gotta learn how to relax, not let my blood pressure get high. Just chill out, meditate, become one with the system, but not the system of lies. In America, y'all living in a fantasy, and the world is all about the, fantasy. I gotta pull my skin here and relax and tell myself I need to relax. I don't want that ugly little wrinkle right there in the forehead. Yeah, hello, and welcome. And I'll say, it is we the people, and we the people must do more. So many black people, when I try to talk to them about these things that are affecting us as a nation, well, they said, well, are you talking about politics? And I said, well, do you pay taxes? I mean, are they taking money from you when you work? Because if they are, they're paying for services that they offer and render to you. And if you're not complaining or you're just happy about what the fuck you got, I'm not happy about what's happening to me. So it's everybody. Everybody's got a thing. They soon ought to know how to handle it. But soon they're reaching out in vain and always worrying about them smiling faces. And I'm telling you, shit just fucked up. World Mark by Wyndham and Wyndham by World Mark. So we have the timeshare. And then my mom passed away, but she didn't put nobody's name on it. I guess she didn't want to cause any conflict. But she just caused more conflict because these motherfuckers don't want to act like once you are assigned the person to deal with your parents' death, then they act like they white folks and they're entitled to determine when you can and when you cannot, and they still want the damn money. So we're gonna have to pay the money and get up in there. But I want to sue them because it's criminal what they do. I've reached out to them more than once and they pretend that they didn't hear me. And I'm same thing for the IRS. Now, it's a governmental agency, but when you create a process and you establish a process and it doesn't work, well, then what the hell, right? So it's the same thing with public education. Understand me when I say that failure is not an option. But if you have a child and your child is not doing well, understand. It's even like these people who provide insurance, money for, people to insure their property. Because, in these communities where they've had all burnouts, nothing left. And then they want to play the game with insurance. But then now we're finding out about perhaps these smart cities and smart homes and how they may have affected those fires in those two areas where the whole community just burned out. It's just like you have streets that have fire hydrants and that didn't work. And I'm just saying the way the city was established just doesn't function. House after house after house, row after row. And then what are we saying? So many people were forced to leave their properties. And when they came back, it was nothing. And I'm just saying, what the hell are we? This is 2025, but if you were living long enough, you watch the planes go into the Twin Tower. You watch that shit early in the morning. And then, but hell, just understanding that when you go to a community park where the city is providing child care. Oh shit, they're overhead, you have to wait. Okay, so here in Nevada, the city provides child care. Well, the Biden-Harris administration certainly said that by the year of 2024, all children enrolled in an early start program would be 3 years old. And they would all be enrolled in an early learning environment. And I don't know what specifically the governor had in mind in creating more slots for early start, but I want to tell you that I believe that there is some 38 or 6,000. Hey, baby. You need me? You need me?
No, I just on the buggy for a second right now.
Okay, bug on. Yes, I'm streaming, but go ahead. What you need? You're not in the camera.
No, I'm just saying, seeing what's up.
Okay, nothing's up. We're doing fine.
All right.
Do I need to find out about what's going on with your class
What's that?
with Dewana Malone?
Still there.
You're still there? Well, as long as you're paying attention. So I was able to get my 27-year-old in a cybersecurity class online. And, actually, I think that even qualifies for federal financial aid. But it doesn't really matter because he's in the class and when he gets ready to take the test, it'll be awesome. It'll be awesome. Now, let's all understand that in America, if you're an American, your obligation for you is you. And only you can determine what it is that you'll do because this is the year of 2025. And so it's just questionable as failure has become an option. And so many people are limited to whatever they've done. If you never experience it, I don't expect you to even understand. How would you understand if you've never done it? But there are people that grow up in these environments and they participate all the time. It's something that they do. And it's a lifestyle. But it's not a lifestyle of the rich and famous. It's the lifestyle of the people who are publicly engaged in the process. As failure is just not an option. No, I got to serve as the chair of the District Advisory Committee for Title I and compensatory dollars in Sacramento City Unified School District in Sacramento. I also served as my school site council chairs in all of the schools that my 3 sons attended, elementary, middle, and high. So I really did get to see the whole process. And I want to promise you, in America, failure is not an option. It's just something that's just not an option. So many people have children, and so many children are in the foster care system. I'm going to go do something. I'll be right back. I'll just leave this here for a second. Y'all, I can't play any music because y'all don't appreciate it. Okay, I'm back. Whew, that was refreshing, I can tell you. Now, might still look dark, but they're not dark, just look dark. Okay, so as an American citizen, I ask this question: what is it that you do that would ensure access for you as a citizen? It seems like citizenship is so irrelevant, but they would like to make America great again. And I've been looking for the moment that America was ever great. And it's great right now because I get to stand up and say what the fuck I want to say out here in the ethos. And as I'm not attacking anyone, it's all about America. So let's just understand, in your local community, are all 3-year-olds enrolled in public education? Because if they're not, then they're violating the Constitution or the federal laws. And everybody needs to be enraged as they have not begun the work. 3-year-olds in America across this nation were supposed to be enrolled in an early education program. And of course, that was what Kamala said. And I'm going to tell you how it made a difference. Because they want to say These kids are truant. They're not choosing. It's the choice of their, oh no, because these people don't have homes or shelters, and they're expected to participate in the process of public education. If they had a house or no house, it doesn't really matter. Their parents are still obligated, and that's just what it is. And so when these people are creating these jobs and wonderful services for themselves. They work for these not-for-profit agencies, and they get paid, and they're paying their salaries. And that's what we do in America, because everybody generates a certain dollar amount. And as you're generating the resources or the fiat, that's what is looked at. But if your child is not benefiting from mandatory public services, then I suggest you become concerned, because failure is not an option. And you ask that your doctors, the medical profession is so tied up in public education that they do an assessment on your child so you can understand exactly what your child needs so the district can provide it, because failure is not an option, and I promise you it is just not. My son graduated. He had a behavior aid. He had a full inclusion aid. We had speech and language support. We had a one-on-one aid that would help him release his frustrations, because he would get frustrated a lot because he didn't want anybody touching or anybody close in his space. And these kids are spectrum-related children. Why? Because we're living in a day and age where our bodies have consumed so many chemicals that it affects the children inside your body as you have them, which I will be going back to court on, because I was fired when I was pregnant, but I was, affected by chemicals as I was working for Los Rios Community College, and they did not protect me as an individual. The union never stepped up and provided any services, and as I was paying union dues, it is criminal, because then it gets into this race thing, and quite frankly, I'm entitled to whatever they're entitled to, and that is why I still get Social Security and have gotten it since I was 38. Because the state decided to make me whole. You understand what I'm saying? So even though the district fired me, the state made me whole. And they gave me an open medical. I guess they thought they were doing something special. So I'll sue them under that open medical that provides no support for me, because a contract is a contract, and the contract is not a game. Now, enough about me. Know that I am 68 years old. No, 67. I'm 67 years old. I was pushing a year forward. But I'll be 67 on June 30th. I was born in 1958. And as being birthed in the year of 1958, this is 2025. And I realized that freedom was never free. So living here in Nevada, understanding that so many people have no idea what the state has been given the authority to oversee you as an individual. And I'm saying, do you understand what that feels like? Oh, let me see. It feels like my son just pulled up. That's what it feels like. And here we are, living in America, where you pay for insurance and you have permissive use because you're a senior citizen, and senior citizens have a right to have permissive use for support for their family. How you doing? No, life. And so I'm covered. But it's the games that people actually play. I pay for homeowners or home warranty, because I've always paid for homeowners or home warranty because my mother did. But there's so many people out there that don't have homeowners or home warranty insurance. But it's critical to pay, for protection. That's what they consider it. It's the protection of the bad day. You know what I'm saying? But my bad day has come and went, especially since I understand that so many people just don't know how to speak up for themselves. Here in Nevada, well, where is the African American Advisory Committee that would advise the black community that even if Usher gets the key of the city, he's not speaking on the behalf of the children who live here? And he might have children, but he only speaks for himself and his family. And that's really what it comes down to. Don't you hear Snoop? I'm living my best life, ain't got time to deal with you niggas. And hey, And then they said that the word niggas is not supposed to be permissible, but they say it all the time. Bleep, 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 bleep. And I'm saying enough is enough because I've had it. As failure is an option, I'm supposed to just sit back as a resident, understand that we're all paying these goddamn taxes, but for whatever reason, services are not available to the black community. And I'm saying, oh, hell no. Did you not know that black folks be paying them entertainment taxes? It's called cabaret tax, and it's a higher amount than most people pay. Shop at the Goodwill or Secondhand Summer. Well, the only time you're going to shop at the Goodwill here is on Mondays and on Wednesdays. On Mondays, it's Dollar Day for the green tag or the red tag. No, never the red tag and never the black tag, but always the blue, green, purple, whatever tags they have. Dollar days on Mondays. Every Monday is a dollar day. And that's how some people survive. And then on Wednesday, it's a 40% off day. So every Wednesday, if you have some cash in your pocket, you can go and see whatever you want to buy. On the color tags, it would be any color tag except for red and black. It is that. And I'm saying, okay, but you're lucky if you're living in Nevada because California don't give you those perks. No, California ain't giving you shit. Nope. And the people who die just die and leave their shit to the world. And then people have figured out how to make a killing on it because they auction their shit off on on the website. Here there is Goodwill online, and you could create an account, but I can't vouch for you actually committing a real bid. No, that's not something I can even say that actually happens. That's real because it is what it is. And as an American citizen, I just really want to ask the black people who think that they uppity, house niggas, you know who I'm referring to, people who have titles. Because people who have titles, oh, they're doing a fundraiser. Oh, wow. They're doing a fundraiser with Little Caesar Pizza. But I'm saying we need more than funds. We need boots on the ground. Boots on the ground. That's, whoa, we need them boots on the ground. Hey, boots on the ground. Because right now, in 2025, it's the population of Negro people that are in the juvenile facilities is concerning to me. And it is the population of Negro people who have been exited, I'll say that, exited out of public school, because it's real, with a certificate of completion, which does not give you no sense of employment. And what the hell is really going on? Where are the black people that should be talking about these issues? Because they're just real issues. And they exist. What is the value of a certificate of completion when it is saying like you're just like a special ed student, like somehow that's supposed to be low? You understand what I'm saying? But that's really not what it means, because special education just means that you have a right to have additional resources, and the state has to provide them. And boo-hoo if the state don't want to provide them, because guess what? It's mandatory. That's why you file a complaint with the feds. But these people don't even file complaints with the feds. Hell, I don't even think they're working with the feds. I don't know what the hell's happening, because people seem to believe that states' rights takes away your rights, and you don't have no rights. So I said, oh, hell no. Did you not know I bought this piece of shit in my hand? I purchased this phone. So when you fill it up, or you play games on it, or you pretend that I don't have no rights on that shit, that's fraud. Because it's not doing what you said the fuck it was supposed to do. And I don't give a fuck anymore, because I'm sick of it. That's right, it's my money. And when I spend my money, it's supposed to do exactly what it says that you said it was going to do. But when it's not doing what you said it was supposed to do, it's problematic. And so, that's right, iPhone 14 is a piece of shit. And now, see, T-Mobile is telling me I can upgrade for free, and I should have upgraded when Snoop was giving 3 free phones during Christmas time. But if there's another opportunity to upgrade, I'll just upgrade with T-Mobile, because I don't have T-Mobile. I have Metro PCS. How you doing? And my son says, well, that's my problem, because I don't have a real carrier. But, hey, the deal is that everybody is on your back when you pick up these phones. Every time you put an app on your phone, that's more people that are watching you. And somebody's watching you all the time. Did you hear Jill Scott when she said, watching? Mm, somebody's always watching her. She was concerned. But I was concerned when they sent Wesley Snipes. They told him to bring his ass back here and get in the jailhouse until he paid his taxes or made arrangements for his peeps to pay his fucking taxes, that he needed to come back here. And I'm just concerned. I'm concerned in how this shit with the Diddy trial is going on, because it's bullshit. And I don't know what the fuck he did, quite frankly. He was an intermediate person. He was a gatekeeper. And they're gatekeepers because these people didn't have to do what it is they were doing to have enjoyment. And they were having enjoyment. And they were having a wonderful time. And they had to do that to get the rent paid. Well, hell, what do you do to get your rent paid? I mean, I'm serious about that rent paid, because rent just got to be paid. And we all got to pay the rent if we're going to live somewhere. That is, if we're going to live somewhere. But hell, I don't think that homegirl was homeless. And so she was making sure her rent was paid, and it was not a problem for her, to none of those women, because he wasn't over here paying my rent. You understand? And that's not something I would have done. So therefore, it's problematic for me. I'm just watching because all these people who got paid, even that $3.2 million. What the fuck is that? That's weird noise. Somebody got paid $3.2 million. Bill Cosby. And we all respected Bill Cosby. I mean, black people just love Cosby, and they love the Cosby Show. And those people were just getting paid. They were getting money every time his show just re-aired. All those people were getting money until they didn't. And so it's this control, this thing that they do to do what? To take away resources from certain people so that, certain people can't benefit. And I just have a problem with it. Benefits are everything. Yep, until you understand, what can I say? Pimping ain't easy. And I say, goddamn, they're doing it royally. Because my people seem to have accepted the letter grade of F and don't know how to get around that. And what is willful defiance? But what is the failure to comply? Failure to comply. And then, if he had just complied, he would be still. No, that's not the shit. That's not how it works. Compliance is everything. Because these people understand what compliance means and how they want it. And that's just like way back in the slave days when you was a slave. If you didn't comply, we all know what happened to your ass, right? And they seem to want to show movies like we want to see that shit. Like the rape of these women by their masters. And I'm saying, what the fuck is that? I mean, it's not for me, so I'm not going to sit back and watch that shit over and over again. I've seen enough in my lifetime, which you probably should have seen enough too. Enough is enough. This is 2025 in all states, especially Nevada, with the governor, Joe Lombardo. And, when we have the Strip and people coming here, even Monique was fighting to get on the Strip. She got on the Strip. Monique was on the Strip. I didn't go see her, no. As I can see her on television or on YouTube or something that I pay for. But enough is enough. And that's just real. So many black people. But who controls? I mean, Sade is beautiful, and she's a beautiful singer. And why can't we see more of people like Sade? Why we got to see people like Chris Brown? Or, people who would just, I mean, even R. Kelly, his music is beautiful music. Love black people music. But y'all would rather hear all the other crazy stuff. Nah, I'm living my best life. Ain't got time to deal with you niggas. And it's just niggas is the problem. And that's just real. Because some people don't consider themselves that. And it really doesn't matter how you consider me. Because I'm an American first. And I know what my rights are. So when I buy my shit, like my cell phones or my laptops, and I paid my money for them, when other people are controlling them, I have a problem, especially my printer. I bought 4 or 5 printers since I've been here, only because they can tell them to stop printing. And I'm fucking tired of nobody can print. who the fuck is anybody when you purchase well, we got big old Shaq walking around talking about how awesome the Epson printer is. And it is a good printer when it prints. But when someone else is controlling it, it's problematic. You get it? So we all need to grow up and understand that this is the year of 2025. Life, liberty, and the perception of critical. And I want you to catch my podcast over there on, Podbean, because it allows like 10 people to call in and speak if you'd like to speak. But most people ain't got, well, they just not, well, what can I say? Fear is everything. But, he said there's nothing to fear except for fear itself. That's what the President of the United States said. I think it was whatever. Just wake up. You about to go out again? Okay. And then we just have what? We have ways and ways and ways to do whatever it is we do. Because I want to say, pimping ain't easy, but goddamn. And then women make choices. You make choices every day. My son seems to really be against abortion, but I'm sorry. People make choices on what they can and cannot do. And if you can't afford another mouth to feed, then you make the choice to not feed that mouth before it gets too late. But what about the people? There were women who didn't look like me who had money. And they would just wait till the last minute because they didn't want to have their husband's babies because they was getting their ass beat. But hey, like I said, it's the abuse in America and the relationships in America. Women are being abused, and I didn't stay anywhere where I was being abused. I'm a single black woman and free and loving every moment of my life. And I remember the good times when I had a man in my life, but guess what? Ooh, Lord, the shit you have to go through to keep one, not even worth it. And so I'm going to enjoy the rest of my life, just enjoying and being who I am. You can talk to people, and it's a good thing to have the ability to communicate with individuals across the nation. Know that we have so much information to share, but failure should not be an option in America. And when local communities, especially big cities like the entertainment capital of the world here in Nevada, where black people come and perform on the strip all the time, where they're having these shows and charging $400 and $500 for tickets, and people are coming here to pay for them. I'm saying bullshit. And then you look at the niggas on the street, they make them look like criminals. And they are criminals because they ain't giving them enough to eat or no place to sleep. And I'm saying enough is enough. When at the age of 11, you as an individual, at the age, I'm going to send this to my girl. At the age, and what work am I talking about? There's just work to be done everywhere. It is we the people, and people want to talk about Democrat and Republican. It is we the people, and people want to talk about Democrat and Republican like it makes a difference. No, if you're an American. But if you're an American and you go over to Italy or go to Japan or go to any other country, there's a status in how they treat you. But believe me, I've seen some black men go over to certain countries too, where they're still not accepted and been unalived in those countries. And guess what? America didn't do shit about it. Not a motherfucking thing. They just went over there and got killed. And I'm saying, perhaps you need to understand where they're going to accept you and where they're not going to be accepted. And I can only be accepted here on my little humble abode, on my little patio. Because life is good right here under my little humble abode, my little patio. And I can see anybody coming up. Yep. So, knowing who you are and understanding who you are is a responsibility of what? Self. Trials and tribulations people don't even understand. My phone is not connected, but it's dying. And so I'm going to go off in a little bit because, it just doesn't stay. And it's too hot to charge out here, so the phone will die. And it's just a piece of shit anyway. I can't support Apple, but Apple is very proprietary, meaning Apple and Apple products all sync together. And whatever that brings, it's kind of like, when you understand Microsoft Office and all Office products. Because when you don't have Office, you have to pay for that bitch again. And then you have to pay for use or individual use just to access your shit. And I'm saying enough is enough. I'm so sick of this shit. Really, I am really sick and tired of it, but it really doesn't matter. I'm not struggling for attention because I don't need attention, but I think we all just need to awaken because it is our responsibility. We have a personal obligation to look at the people who look like you and say, well, how's that happening? But if it's not happening, you need to say, well, how's that happening? Especially if you're living in your $600,000 home and you've got your fucking $1 million retirement and you good to go. Because that's when you will get the wake-up call. Because just because you make so much money doesn't mean you're separated from this dysfunction, because we're all still a burden to it. So, as your kid that got pulled over by law enforcement, your kid's life was unended. And, just because that Clark boy made it home to his grandmother's house doesn't mean he was safe. You can see they will go all the way in the backyard and unalive you. And I'm saying, what the hell was that really all about? Because, see, we all have this insurance that we call, thank God for Farmers, State Farm, and all the other insurances. So if the kid was in the neighborhood breaking into cars, I don't think that they should have shot him, do you? But somehow that shit was just approved. And because it was so approved in the state of California, where I live, and I understand what happens in the neighborhoods in California because we grew up there, the kids would just go over the fences as to not be chased down by the police. And I'm so sick of America. And I have a right to be sick and tired of what I'm seeing. That's why I have a right to be outraged, pissed off. Oh, black people with attitudes. Yeah, black folks with attitudes. I got plenty of attitude. But guess what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I understand. For years and years and years, Walter Green says hello to me right now. So I'll send it to Walter Green. It's that one. So, here we are, living in America, where black people hardly ever come out. There is no place. Well, some people just don't understand. I'm streaming. He had a message, and he chose not to. He still want to talk to me. I have no idea what he's talking about. But we're living in America, and blacks in America have no access of sharing concerns locally, nationally. I mean, Black Lives Matter. What the shit was that all about? Did it really matter? Because no. I mean, after Ahmaud Arbery, after Amir Locke, after, so many young people's lives were ended. And what we're seeing, like Breonna Taylor. And what is really going on? Why is it that in a situation would be conflicted by choices, then you would be unalived at the end of the situation. And now you have a president who just wants to end all those punishments. People were told to clean that shit up, and they chose not to clean it up. It takes so long. They want all these accommodations to make it happen, right? They need an accommodation to make you feel like you're a human. No, I don't. I know I'm human because I'm only human. And that's just real. As an American, I see myself as free. And maybe you don't. But to tell the truth, that's your issue. My children got an education because I demanded that they have one. Failure is an option for people who choose failure. And I just want to understand how come there's only 14% of African American children living in the state of Nevada. 14% out of some 17,000 children. Tim, hello, hey. Out of some, 17,000 children. Well, somebody just doesn't even understand. Pause my live because somebody wanted to say, hey. And I just told them I'm streaming. But get a clue, In America, you do you and I'll do me, and we will be whatever we'll be as, que sera, sera. And it is really whatever will be, will be. And the future is yours if you'll see it. But you have to do the work. There you go, que sera, sera. Iced tea, lemonade, whatever. The real deal is that we're living in a time in a place where reality has come to kick us all in the ass. And failure's not an option in America because you need to look at the prison industrial complex. They got a place for them. And then people are just having babies, but then how is it that they have babies and they cause harm to the babies and they're on trial for having it? And I just really want to know what the public service is. This is a stupid motherfucker. This is what he is. Because everybody wants to tell you about the grant money. And I don't give a fuck about the grant money. If I needed the grant money, I would apply for it. But I'm not applying for grant money because I don't need it. The work still has to be done with or without the grant money. And I know how to apply for a grant. I don't think I need it. What I need to do is do more of what I'm doing. As so many people are just not making it, and I just want to know what the hell is going on. You know, in California, it was required that they take the high school exit exam. Every child in the 8th grade had to take the high school exit exam. And they threw it out the window. They decided they wouldn't do it anymore because kids were not passing at the 8th grade level. And that's just real. But you could challenge the state and take the exit exam and get out of high school by taking that exam. And that's just real. Reading the Bible is not going to do you any good if you're not willing to make the sacrifice and do the work of the Lord. And I think that just, in the Bible it says, Jesus could have saved more, or people could have been saved if they had only had faith or only believed. And here we are. Maybe there's nothing we can change, but maybe there are things that we really can change, as failure's just never been an option. But once you have a child, you don't even understand the commitment that goes with a child. But it's selfless. It's not you anymore. Child comes first. But so many people have a problem with giving to babies once they have them. And I'm saying, ooh, Lord, help me. Because I've just never seen this level of selfishness, or it's just really disgusting. It's really what I see. Because people are hurting the babies, shaking them. And I just started to say, number one, there's 9 months before the baby even comes. And parenting classes should be mandatory. When they want these people to have these goddamn babies, they should mandate that they have to go through a series of classes that teach them how to communicate with each other and also teach them how to treat the babies. Because we should be willing to sue these cities who don't have the support structure for their families, and they just don't. Especially when we have all this goddamn health care, and everybody's paying for health care. Everybody's paying for all of these services that are somehow just broken, just don't seem to work. And then there's just been an excuse as to why it can't happen. And enough is enough. Life in liberty is a reality. I'm about to get off of here and then go on my show over there on Podbean. It's called Citizen Anderson. That's what it is over there. And it's on Podbean. And then I can take that one and it goes right to YouTube, and it publishes here on YouTube too. So it's something that works, but it doesn't really work. It works, it's limited, and it has blank spaces because they be trying to control what you can and cannot say, what you can and cannot do. And in America, well, you have to just step up your game. So I'm working towards buying me some microphones towards the end of the month. And, working towards getting more shares out here, more people sharing and empowering more people so they understand how failure is not an option in America. But if you're allowing your child to fail, then that's on you. So step up in America. Y'all have a blessed day. Like I said, catch my podcast over there, Parent Empowerment Half an Hour. There's not another show like that in America. There's not another show like that in the world, but maybe similar, but nothing like it. It's over there on Spotify. Or you can catch me, Citizen Anderson, over there on Podbean, or just find me any day here, Darlene Anderson. Y'all have a blessed day now. Turn it off. I want to end it in